Hey peeps, how are we doing? To my beautiful students, it is I, the great archaeologist Charles, and today we have another lesson. And what I'm seeing is there seems to be some kind of strange diaspora of Jesus and the Son. I can call him that, but let's face it, the cult has different names and it goes all the way back. It's more Germanic than Jewish, it's pre-Jewish, goes all the way back. And we see elements of this cult worldwide. The Gobeckli Tepeans had it, and they spread it around the world in different forms. And what we call Christianity, for starters, Christianity was mainly applied to the landscape. It was sanctifying the landscape with gigantic crosses, or churches in the shape of a cross. But it was also, long before that, it was a religion of the Father and the Son and the cross. And we've seen ancient crosses all over the place, just incredible. That's probably why they're bringing in Windows 11. They can't get rid of that screensaver. You know, that is my new trademark, that screensaver. Anyway, Theseus killing the Minotaur, and he's in the labyrinth, and the name of the king is Minos. And people have said Minos must be a title. Well, notice the Minos contains the Ino inside it, which is Anu. So, in other words, Minos might be a hint at the supreme god Anu, which we see possibly at Gobeckli Tepe, who is the cross. The cross being the Father, but also the Son. And also the doorway. We see these crosses are a kind of doorway. They're looking in two different directions. And you say, Charles, Jesus is not Anu. Oh, really? Oh, really? Well, yeah, see, Christianity is, it's pre-Christian. Look at, for example, Elijah and Isaiah. For example, in that. Okay, and they were ruling Israel. Elijah and Isaiah. Elijah the father, Eli, and Isaiah the son. But are they the original Jesus and Elijah? Not really. They're just playing a role. They're playing a role. I am the Alpha and the Omega, God of beginnings and endings. What do you say now? What do you say now? This is Anu at Gobeckli Tepe. What do you say now, huh? Right. Just absolutely fascinating. And so there we go. And I'll even suggest this formed the pyramid, because the thing is, you got one looking towards the polar coordinates, and then you'd have to have another one the other way, looking towards the equatorial coordinates. Hence, you've got halfway through, you've got the Juno and then the Jano at the top. Now, Anno means year, but January is a month, so he's used for splitting up the year a lot. Yes, Janu is the Roman god associated with beginnings, endings, gateways, and transitions, which means, oh, hang on a sec, I've seen him before. Now, guys, here's the funny thing about this guy. He's got the thing around him, like the saints do, the rays. But is he on a cross? Is he on a cross? He seems to. His hands are grabbing onto two pillars, which are also snakes. They're snakes. They're snake heads, but they're also pillars. Is this a type of cross? And he's on a doorway, like Janus. He's on a doorway. He seems to be the supreme god. I asked AI about him, what his name is. AI doesn't know, just calls him the staff god, or the door god, or the supreme god, which predates the later Incan Inti. So this isn't Inti. Inti, by the way, it's the same word as Latin wenda, which is under, which I suppose would be because the sun comes up from under every morning. So is there some transatlantic Roman contact there with regards to the Inca god Indi? Indi, of course, India also the Greeks. India means the east, doesn't it? In one of those European languages, Asia is another word for the east, and India is a different word for the east. So the staff god. Straight away we see the link to masonry. The two pillars are worshipped in masonry, so is this the Masonic god as well? And then we start to see how old the Mason god is. And we start to see how old also masonry is. And I start to see a worldwide diaspora of the Father and the Son God from Gobeckli Tepe, 10,000 BC, if that is the date. Interesting. Yeah, so I better just keep moving that mouse. Just fascinating. A doorway god. This is a doorway god. He's on a doorway. He's Janus. And this is showing that, okay, he's looking in two directions because he's holding this one over here. One eye's on this one, but he's grabbing a snake with the other one. One eye's there. It's like a symmetry god. And in the previous video, we've suggested there's a symmetry triple god. So it's the Trinity as well. So he is everything. He is the Trinity, the supreme God. Now Jesus also, he had himself, his arms outstretched, and he had a criminal on each side. That was necessary. Let's look at a few pictures. There's him again. It's harder to see him because he seems to have multiple eyes or something, or that's a mouth. There's the eyes, jaguar mouth. He's got snakes pouring out of him, so he's also Satan, because Satanyaya, 100 snakes, and he's got those two, one of the supreme gods of Western civilization, not a Jewish god, but a Germanic Western god from the Caucasus, or you can call it, when I say Germanic, I really mean Aryan or Germanic. I mean Eurasian, because those Germans went all over the place. Indo-Germanic, Indo-European, whatever you want to call it. And by the way, that's a crown. It's not a cup, that's a crown. So the crown is showing, I carry with me basically Satan or the triple god or the staff god or Anu or whatever words you want to use. Jesus in Ireland was represented as a snake in ancient tradition. That is a fact, 100%. Jesus was represented as a snake sometimes in portraiture, because Ireland has the Aryan gods. Remember my video on the Book of Kells. Again, is it Jesus? What's going on? A type of Jesus. He's got his arms outstretched. He's on a stick. He's attached to this. He's on a stick. 2 sticks. God on a stick. Like Gobeckli Tepe, Anu. And they're actually 2 snakes facing in 2 different directions. And you've even got 2 other directions. So he's like a pyramid staff god of 4 faces almost. There's also a pyramid god, the supreme god, the great god. There's the Holy Spirit up there. Charles, you're all over the place today. I am, because these guys were all over the place. They went all around the planet. And people can't separate explanations being complex and ancient diaspora, particularly those people who call themselves archaeologists. They can't separate the two. They don't know. They think that because the ancients were complicated, it must be wrong. It can't be complicated. There's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with them. So here's something interesting. Yeah, all right. Apparently it's another staff god. Could it be above a doorway like a Janus? Another staff god. These staves are interesting. They're like scythes almost. They're like what that bloke had, the moon-shaped crescent moons. Son of the moon, and more moon shapes up here. Another variety. And of course, 2 staves. They're actually staves they look like they're made of sticks, like the Italian style. And a massive headdress, totemic headdress. Strange animal-like faces, 2 eyeballs there, a weird face like an animal. Arms outstretched. He's on a cross. He's a part of a cross. The Spanish must have thought of this and thought, wow, it's like a different type of Christianity, but a Satan version. Satan has clearly corrupted the true word of Christ. And you think, well, hang on, if there's Christianity, different types of Christianity everywhere, let's call them proto-Christianity. Well, hang on a sec. And the 2 words sun and sun in the sky and son of, they're both named after the sun. That's clear at one time. In the Germanic world. Let's continue. So what I'm saying is Janus is the father, Jesus is the son, or you can call him Issa if you want. And somewhere along the line, one of them became Ea, which I suppose might be Janus, Ea. And Ea. So Janus was also Ea. but he's also the Son. He's also on a type of cross. So bear that in mind when you see these representations. The Father and the Son are one representation, often. And this confuses the hell out of everything. Now, Christianity is not really a Jewish religion. It is a pre-Jewish religion, which I believe it sort of came back. We've made videos on that. Because the cross is found in prehistoric Europe. Don't forget that Maltese cross. Even the Great Pyramid is a Maltese cross from the sky, someone told me, and my bro told me as well. And someone else pointed that out as well, with the 8 sides. It's a Maltese cross from the sky. So, the cross was already sacred. And Judaism is more from the Babylon, the Ziggurat religion. Now, let's continue. So it's a trinity because there's 2 others with him. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? Because they saw, at the time, the early Christians saw ancient representation of Jesus, of a guy on a stick with 2 other things next to him, 2 other sticks. Do you see he's got 2 sticks next to him? He's the staff god. Jesus is the staff god, or Ea, or Yahweh, or whatever, or Juno, or Janus is the staff god. All together, all 3 of them, it's Janus. They're part of the god. And the proto-Christians said, we can't understand these divine pre-Christian things, so we're going to say, okay, there were 2 criminals hung on each side. And when you look at the Orthodox cross, it's quite interesting. It's actually got the T-pillar built into the Orthodox cross. That's right, guys. There is a T-pillar built into a Gobeckli Tepe style T-pillar built into the Gobeckli Tepe cross. How damn old is this representation? And there's a trinity because you have 1, 2, 3. Or on a normal cross, you have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Or 4, like a pyramid. The cross and the pyramid religion 100% go together in proto-Christianity. 100%. And the Orthodox is from the Gobeckli Tepe part of the world, whereas the Latin Church is not. Romans are Spaniards and Italians and French. But the other side, they never fully Romanized. They stayed true to many earlier traditions. And there's so many of the darn things as well. Cairo is older than Constantine, by the way. It's found in earlier texts. And these crosses here, where they're equidistant, are pre-Christian crosses. The Christian crosses are more built for someone on it, but these ones are for sanctifying the landscape with crosses, as we've seen, and many have looked at this, and people look at it, say that's amazing, and then 10 minutes later it's forgotten forever. But the ancient people would sanctify an entire island, as we've seen with Britain, with monuments up and down, left and right. Same thing seems to have happened in Egypt too. Papal cross, it's got the Trinity. You see, that cross is not for executing someone. It's got the Trinity. It's a pyramid. That one's on a pyramid. We've talked about the Irish cross. What is that thing behind it? And we've said, is it sun? Is it the moon? We've made videos about it. And I've suggested, well, hang on a sec. Moon god is often the earth god. And that is the alchemical symbol of the earth. Is that the earth? We're worshipping the old wood god as well. Because these are sanctifying the earth. These are all for sanctifying the earth. And some Masons call the supreme god Jabulon. It's got a bit of Janus, a bit of Eli, Ulo. It's got a bit of Yahweh as well. It's got a bit of Baal. It's got a bit of everything. You know what? Who the hell knows? We don't know their sources. Royal Archmasonry. That's interesting. So it sounds like a fringe one. Yeah. Fascinating, guys. I'll let you read about that if you want. All right, they're sort of isolating some isolates. There's isolates. Yahweh, Bull on the N also from Janus. Janu. It's a composite god. They're trying to make a supreme god. In Christianity, the bells are sacred. The Irish things are belfries, but they're Christian. Because the bell, the Baal, So Yahweh, the bell. Anyway,